Alaska can't defend. He's got the outside left for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around, we're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
In the heart of Baden-Württemberg, where the Black Forest whispers through the pines and echoes of motorsports legends still linger in the air, lies a circuit carved into the soul of racing history, Hockenheim, a name that once roared with the fury of V10s and now hums with the relentless rhythm of modern GT3 machines. This is no ordinary battleground. It's a place where speed meets precision, where the ghosts of champions haunt every apex, and where the unforgiving sweep of the Parabolica dares the brave to break just a heartbeat later. The stadium section, tight, technical, and thunderous, waits to test the mettle of every driver who dares to dance between its concrete walls. Tonight, the Throttle Freaks GT3 League arrives not to pay homage, but to etch their own chapter into this storied tarmac. 45 minutes of pure, unrelenting combat. No second chances, just man, machine, and relentless pursuit of glory. The engines are warm, the grid is soon to be set, and as the lights prepare to extinguish, one truth remains at Hockenheim: legends aren't born, but they're forged. Welcome in. We're officially into the back half of the season now. Welcome to week 6. 4 more races left after this week. I'm Rob Campbell. This is Racers Nexus. In the booth with me again, Richard Swindells as usual. Rich, welcome to Germany.
It's been a whirlwind trip this afternoon trying to commute to the racetrack here, Rob. Looking forward to tonight, week 6 here at Hockenheim.
Whirlwind route. Well, if you didn't know, Richard Swindells was up to the wee hours of the morning watching baseball last night. So we had to pull him out of bed to get him ready for the broadcast here this evening. So give him a little bit of slack if he's a wee bit sleepy on broadcast here this evening.
Well, unlike normal, I guess, Rob, as we take a look here, it looks like David Busch III sticking with the Lambo as always. Nice to see David Busch representing that Lamborghini. I think he's the only one, or we may have 2 of them out tonight. Yeah, we do. Steve McLean is also in the Lambo. So all the cars out on track. How many we got tonight, Rob? Looks like we got 30 some odd cars tonight.
Last count I saw we had 34. I'm not sure if maybe a couple more jumped in just before the session kicked off, but a nice number of cars here this evening, Rich. But let's take a look at our weather conditions. 66-degree air temp, 19-degree Celsius. That's a pleasant day here in Germany. 72-degree Fahrenheit track temp, 22 degrees Celsius, against whichever way you want to look at your thermometer. Partly cloudy, no rain in sight, 88% humidity. It should be a heck of a race conditions here this evening.
Yeah, not too hot, not too cold, just right, as Goldilocks would say, or the Three Bears, or whoever it was. Man, we haven't been to Hockenheim, or I haven't done a broadcast at Hockenheim ever, or if so, a long time ago. But this is one track I kind of like, Rob. It's got some technical sections, got some high-speed sections. I'm just a big fan. How about you?
I can't remember if I mentioned it last week or not. I am a massive fan of Hockenheim. It's probably one of, if not my favorite, of the Formula One type circuits. Basically because it's got about 4 good overtaking opportunities, Rich, where you have into turn 1 if you're really daring, but the turn 2-3 section before you sweep around the parabolic into turn 6. All 3 of those spots, great overtaking opportunities, and then again into turn 12 once you get into the stadium section. So I think it's one of those tracks where you have numerous overtaking opportunities. It's not basically a game of follow the leader and hoping for your best qualifying position. There is opportunity to overtake the driver ahead of you if you're really brave enough to throw it up in the inside. But this, as I mentioned, this is week 6. You see there, today we're at Hockenheim, the usual format, 45-minute sprint with 50% fuel load. Next week we're going to head to Sebring. So from the smooth, wide confines here, Rich, of a Formula One Grade 1 track, we're going to go to the bumpy old airstrip called Sebring International next week.
Yeah, it's definitely a contrast in track surfaces, that is for sure. Sebring is always an interesting track. I like driving it. You definitely feel the bumps everywhere, but Hockenheim, like you said, Rob, I think that turn 6 hairpin there is, we're going to see a lot of action tonight. Really looking forward to seeing that as we pick it up with Jim Feliz. Jim Feliz is our championship points leader, if I'm not mistaken, Rob.
He is. Why don't we take a look at the championship standings here while we have a moment, Rich, and why don't you kick us off with the pro side of things first?
Well, since I spoiled the thunder there, Jim Feliz is currently in the lead. He's got a 15-point lead over Jack Hedgecox in second. Jack Hedgecox has then got himself a 16-point lead over Joshua Spears. David Bush III, though, is just 1 point back in fourth. Then we have Travis Newsom rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, still a lot of positions up for grabs there, although Feliz starting to pull away from the rest of the field. But over in the Pro-Am side of things, much closer, Rich, with Jay Steffi leading the way, 174 points, 5 points ahead of Josh Goen in second place, and then Josh himself 5 points up on Brett Thurman. Thurman only 1 point ahead of Seb Gauthier, and Gauthier only 1 point ahead of Tyler Graff.
Wow.
So those top 5 drivers only separated by, about 12 points, so real tight there. And even back to Herbert Pineda, he's only 10 points back of Tyler Graff, so real tight there. And then let's take a look at our AM things, Rich.
AM's not quite as close, but there's still a good battle going on with Sean Provo in first with 156 points. Jacob Fickner just 11 points back of him. Kevin Berquist is in third. He's just 9 points back of Jacob. Nicholas Carangis 11 points back. And then we have James Hand about another 9 points back. So a little bit of a gap there, but 6th and 7th, they're tied. So they're just a couple points back. So I think we've got some battles still to go here, Rob.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little closer at the top of AM. For the first half of the season, Sean Provo was out to a huge jump. Had not the best race last week, falling down a little bit, losing a little bit of that gap. Jacob Fickner, Kevin Burke was starting to reel him back in. But then lastly, we have the team side of things where, again, it's starting to open up a little more there. We've seen a tight battle between the SRTE Yellow drivers and the Goen Racing drivers. Now, SRTE Yellow with Jim Feliz and I believe Brett Thurman, strong the last couple weeks to be able to open up that gap over the Goen Racing. Part of that due to Jack Hedgecox missed a week, about a week and a half, or was it 2 weeks back? He was back last week, so 2 weeks ago he missed a race. So that gap opened up a little bit between SRTE Yellow and Goen Racing. Riot Motorsports right there in third, battling with SimCity Racing and Lunatic Racing. So still a lot of moving and shaking potential here, Rich, as we're starting to see the drop weeks come into play too as well.
Drop weeks certainly do affect the standings, but that is it now, because you cannot drop in week 10. So I think we're going to see the champ just go right down to the very final wire, as they say, because week 10, Bathurst, anything's possible. This has been a great season, Rob. We're in week 6, more than halfway through, as we take a look at Jerome Berthiaume live on camera. Hey, folks, you want to get your face on there, and even if you don't, we really appreciate Jerome putting that live cam on so people at home can get a look at what these guys are doing. Please, more people are more than welcome. We've seen James Hand earlier in the season. We've seen a couple other drivers. We'd like to see some more. Otherwise, we may have to put our faces on, and you really don't want to see that.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, Rich, but I'm glad you said it out there that, yeah, they don't want to see us. We're a kind of back alley type material back here, but well, we got a moment while we're still waiting for qualifying to finish up here. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors, TrackCam for Gourmets, providing us with some Formula One-esque shots here this evening. You can find them at trackcams22.com. And then, as usual, Apex Sim Racing. Find yourself a nice little 5% discount code in the description. Use the referral link. They have everything you need to get going with sim racing, from PCs to tire sim racing, sim chassis, accessories. So you find them too as well. Thank you to them. So qualifying, getting down to the last few moments here, Rich. The usual suspects starting to find their way up towards the front, with Jim Feliz leading the way. But Jack Hitchcock's now got himself up into second place. Brett Thurman right there too as well. As I see that, Colin McKenzie out of nowhere jumps up into third place. So it looks like the Aston's very strong here this evening, Rich, as we got 2 of them in the top 3.
Yeah, that was quite a surprise seeing. Oh, wow. And as I say that, William Fenson's just bumping up. It looks like, just like in Formula One, perhaps the track's evolving with a little more grip, because we're starting to see some names up near the top that we're not used to seeing, Rob.
Yeah, it's be interesting to see. William Fenson had a bit of a rough race last week at Indianapolis. As we see, I'm not sure who that was off in the grass in the background. Might have been, I think it was David Bush III. But Fenson got wrapped up in just coming out of the infield section back onto the oval. Had a nice race going, cost him a number of spots. So he's going to try and put himself right up at the sharp end here tonight, Rich. Hopefully he can avoid that carnage, being in one of the first 2 rows.
Yeah, it's I can't say I'm usually up there, but that's what I hear. If you're up near the front, there's a lot less issues to be had on lap 1. So great job there, William Fenson and Colin McKenzie, both 2 drivers we're not used to seeing up near the pointy end, but we really like the shake up there. Good job, drivers.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here with we're into the negatives now, so the clock is ticked over. So basically any driver who crossed the line here, Rich, before the clock ticked over, is able to finish up that lap. But otherwise, they're going to be stuck where they've qualified. So we'll see here, because we've got a number of drivers looking at my track map. So we got a good 20 drivers that still finishing out this lap, Rich. We'll see if anybody's really be able to move up. This was Joshua Spears taking a little bit of a detour there through the grass.
Yeah, and one thing I just noticed, Rob, Jay Steffi, our Pro-Am points leader, has not set a time yet in qualifying, so I'm not sure if Jay's here tonight or on track or what's going on with Jay tonight.
I'm not sure. I know he's been having some PC issues the last couple of weeks, so I'm wondering maybe if he was out. I know he was in the Discord earlier on asking for some advice from the pro drivers on how to take the turn 6 at the end of the Parabolica a little better, so I know he's been putting in the practice, so I suspect maybe it's just a little bit of a computer issue here, Rich. Hopefully he can get things sorted out and back onto the grid for the start of the race.
Yeah, we certainly wouldn't want to see him miss out because of some technical difficulties. The garage and pit crew, got to get the job done. As we take a look at Travis Newsom back to his customary paint scheme. Halloween isn't here yet, but looks like the Halloween paint scheme is gone this week. Travis sitting in 7th overall right now.
Yeah, strong run for Travis as he's heading into what they call the mobile curve. This is, depending which car you're in, you do a lot of open wheel racing, Rich. I think a lot of the open wheel cars, you can actually take that corner almost flat out.
For sure. Not quite the same, though, in the GT3 cars. Not quite the downforce or the grip that they have, but I love this section of the track here, Rob. Man, it's just, when you get this section right, you know it. And you got to use all the track and then a little bit extra to watch Travis come around. He's pulling it off. He's not setting a new best lap there.
No, he's going to have to settle with the time he's got on the board here, as we're on board with Tyler Graff in the MadWorks machine. See what kind of time Tyler could put it in right now, sitting kind of mid-pack in 13th place. We're more accustomed to seeing him up towards the sharper end of the field, Rich. So he's going to have some work to do here this evening with him. Tyler Cato as well. He's just went through the first corner there, so that's going to complete his run. He's right now looking at somewhere in around the 14th place. Still a couple drivers on track to put in lap times here. Greg Doucette, the Throttle Thursday driver, currently sitting in 27th, but he is already finished up. He's just out there trying to take advantage of the extra time on the clock, getting a few more corners in for practice.
Yeah, that's, you know, if you're not setting a good lap, it never hurts. I'm also a big fan of practicing pit entry because a lot of time can be made up or lost on that entrance and exit. It's not just how much time you're in the stall, it's how much time between the cones. So Javi Sierra, as we watch Javi coming across the line, looks like we're almost ready to get our starting grid.
Yeah, looks like we got 3 more cars on track, Brett Thurman being one of them here. Brett could cross the line currently in 4th place. See if he's able to improve on his lap time. He does improve a little bit, not going to pick up a spot, but does get a little bit closer to Herbert Pineda, who came out of nowhere in the end there. Rich got himself up into 3rd place. So nice qualifying run by Herbert Pineda as Seb Gauthier crosses the line. I think that should just about do it here for qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying goes quick, but the race certainly is a little bit longer. 45 minutes of racing action we've got upcoming, folks. That that's a mandatory, not a mandatory, but a required kind of, if you want to make it to the end, pit stop. So we got 45 minutes of racing. I expect to see a lot of action here, especially on lap 1 and going into that hairpin at turn 6. So Jack Hedgecoast, we're following along with him while we await timing and scoring to give us the starting grid for tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Jack's going to be the last car. He must have just crossed the start-finish line before the clock ticked over, so he's going to bail off into the pits. And as he does that, that's going to finish up our qualifying. We're going to look here at the grid. With looks like we got a couple seconds left on the clock. There we go. Everything's clicked over. Rich, why don't you take us through the first row of the grid?
Well, the first row is no surprise to anybody here. Jim Feliz with Jack Hedgecote starting 2nd. But we'll keep going anyways. Herbert Pineda, strong showing in 3rd with Brett Thurman. Nice to see him back up near the top in 4th. Then we have Colin McKenzie in 5th, followed by Andrew Trickett in 6th. William Fence in 7th, Travis Newsom in 8th. Then we have Matthew Fortin, Ross Sortino rounding out the top 10. Felix Feliz is in 11th, Jerome Berthume in 12th.
13th place is going to go to Tyler Graff. Tyler Cato, pair of Tylers on 13th, 14th place. Javi Sierra in 15th with Sean Provo in 16th. Josh Goen in 17th. Joshua Spears, another couple of Joshes in 17th and 18th place. Seb Gauthier in 19th with Dave Jensen in 20th. David Bush III in 21st with Stephen McLean in 22nd. Jacob Fickner in 23rd. Sully Sod in 24th place.
And we have Kevin Burkhurst in 25th, followed by Chip Michaels in 26th. David Morse, 27th, followed by Greg Doucette. Then we have James Hand in 29th, followed by Nicholas Carangis in 30th. Ian Cabanas 31st, followed by Justin Welsh in 32nd. Jay Steffi, not setting a time either, in 33rd, followed by Christopher Rines. And Chase Matsko and Matt Mars round out the field.
Yeah, 36 car field here this evening. No Sean Mulholland in the session as admin this week. I believe Colin McKenzie had to take the duties of admin. So all 36 cars in session qualify for the grid. Looks like potentially maybe 4 cars starting from the pits as Rines, Mars, Matsko, and Steffi did not grid up here, Rich.
Yeah, that's and none of them set qualifying efforts, so it'll be interesting to see if they actually come out of the pits or their day is over before it began. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, we've got, as we always love, short pace lap here, Rich. But long track here at Hockenheim, it's kind of deceiving. It's fairly quick lap time, but you are full throttle through a large portion of the track, so that helps as far as the overall lap time. But cars heading into what's called the stadium section here now. So the front half of the field, kind of, I guess front row. Feliz and Hedgecock's trying to warm those tires up. That new tire model can be a bit of a bear to start the race off. So you're just going to see, as it looks like the majority of the mid-pack wasn't doing anything really to warm the tires up here, Rich. Hopefully that's not going to cause an issue into turn 1.
Yeah, some of them may be just hiding and, just holding the brakes and running the brakes to get the tire carcass up to temp. But as we're coming around the last corner, we've got Jim Feliz is going to lead us off.
Yeah, Feliz getting a nice jump over Hedgecock's into turn 1. Right now, it looks like everything fairly clean. Hedgecock's trying to get a run up on the backside. Oh, Feliz is around early on. He got up on the curb and he spun, Rich. So not the way our top driver. He's going to have to wait for every single car to go by there from first to last very quickly for Jim Feliz.
Yeah, Jim Feliz not having the best start, to say the least. As we continue along in the mid-pack, we got a bake spin back there, Rob. That was going through current 4. Looks like we've got, Tyler, one of the Tylers, Tyler Cato, off the track for I-75 Motorsports. Gets it back underway, but there looks like there's some damage there. He keeps spinning.
Yeah, I wonder, that might be a mixture of cold tires too, as well, as he's trying to get back on track. So unfortunate start to this one, Rich, but 30 car, we got action again into turn 6 number cars. It looks like David Morse involved too as well. I'm not sure if that was Jacob Fichtner as well getting spun around. So we got a lot of stuff to look at in the replay machine here once everything gets settled down here, Rich. But Herbert Pineda, Jack Hedgecock's getting a run up front as we go back. Pineda bunny hopping over the curb. That might be a little bit of floor damage for him, but we'll see if he's able to gather it up. He's got his fellow Mercedes driver, Brett Thurman, in behind him. Both those drivers taking advantage of Jim Feliz's spin into turn 1. Travis Newsom right there too as well. Andrew Trickett, nice run by him, 5th place right now. That's the highest we've seen him all season.
Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, Rob, I'm not a huge fan of the Merc, but I am a huge fan of Herbert Pineda and Brett Thurman. Nice to see them running 2nd and 3rd so early in the race. Let's hope they can continue this pace. Jack Hedgecock's, though, half-second gap to 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, Hedgecock's really trying to put the pressure on early on. So see if I can go back here and try and recap some of the carnage from lap run. Let's see what happened at the most recent between Jacob Fichtner. Looked like he was the first one involved. So Fichtner is the orange, black, and white Mercedes SRTE machine on the far side here. Looks like he tried to slide it up there 4 wide with Busch the third, and I believe that was McLean on the inside, the other Lambo. Everything kind of just came to a halt through turn 6, Rich.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of the drivers in behind. Sometimes starting from the pits isn't necessarily the worst thing that can happen because they avoided all that calamity. But Jacob Fichtner back underway, and we're gonna take a look at here what happened with Jim Feliz. He got up on the got up on the curbs, and looks like he may have got a little bit of the bumper of Jack Hedgecock's.
Yeah, let's see if we can go from the blimp here and see. Well, Feliz was already loose up on the curbs there and went around.
I'm sorry, Jack and Going Racing. I take that back. Not guilty.
The verdict is in. Richard Swindells retracts his original verdict. Gives it a not guilty verdict for Jack Hedgecock's. But Joshua Spears here, he's battling with Dave Jensen. Jensen up 6 spots already, so nice run for him. Taking advantage of a little bit of carnage mid-pack. So it looks right now, Rich, like the Mercedes drivers doing very well, as we've got, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Mercedes right now in the top 16.
It looks like it's kind of the car to have tonight. Originally, I was thinking the Astons were doing quite well, but Merc Power seems to be getting the job done tonight as we look at this train coming down, going through these first straight, going through turns 2 and 3, going out into turn 5, getting ready for turn 5, the Parabolica. This big, long kind of draft train at this stage of the game. Not a whole lot happening, but Javi Sierra representing well in the Merc.
Yeah, I'm having a look here at my track map, Rich, and even with all that carnage we've had start off, first place all the way down to 32nd place are still nose to tail all throughout this thing. And basically, if you look at timing and scoring, all those orange numbers are cars that are within a half a second of each other, which is you know, at least 50%, maybe even 60% of the timing tower right now.
Well, I just learned something new. I mean, I've only broadcast with you for about 4 years, and maybe that's a new feature, but hey, you can teach this old dog new tricks, so thanks. We'll pick it back up. Herbert Pineda having himself a great battle with Brett Thurman, holding him off to this stage. Travis Newsom in behind them, with Andrew Trickett in 5th in behind them. So we got this little 4-car train battling hard. Brett Thurman looking left, looking right, trying any way he can to get by Herbert, but Herbert holding him off for now.
Yeah, nice battle there from a couple of Merc drivers. Travis Newsom in 4th. He's back to his traditional paint scheme. So they must have heard our calls last week, Rich, that we like this one better than the Halloween special. So we're back to the OG, I guess as we would call it, paint. As we saw, Newsom thought about sticking the nose up the inside of Thurman, had to actually get onto the brakes through turn 3. Back out of it, got a little better run through there than Thurman did. So we'll stick with Newsom here, see if he makes a move on Thurman into turn 6, Spitzkehr corner, Rich.
Well, I'm glad you said it because I sure couldn't. I don't think you did very well. Well, I think we could have both done better, but we're not German, so what do we know? Yeah, this is definitely the most opportune place to pass, but it's also the most potential for trouble, I think, as we saw in lap 1, turn 1. But drivers trying a little different lines, trying to see what they can do here. So we're going to pick it up with Jerome Berthiaume. Jerome is sitting there in cam, driving the Mustang. Jerome having himself a good battle with Matthew Fortin. So these two drivers pushing. We've got Matthew in the Aston. We've got Jerome in the Mustang. We're coming up as we're about to enter the stadium section shortly. Drivers pushing hard, but keeping it nice and clean. Not a whole lot of passing opportunities right now.
Yeah, it's still tight confines here, Rich, where I don't think the drivers really want to push the envelope trying to make a maneuver, because you can lose 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 spots if you try and make a move on somebody and maybe get bob a little bit, drop a tire off track. It's just that close amongst all the field that you can lose a number of spots very quickly here. As we go even farther back in the pack, and you can still see that train of cars just extends basically as far as you can see. And this is at 19th place Seb Gauthier as he's battling with Stephen McLean in the other Lambo.
Yeah, Seb's no stranger to battling hard and moving up positions. Seb Gauthier sitting in 19th place, where he started right now. Not having his best effort, perhaps just not this track, just not quite agreeing with him, because he's also in a Merc. We've got Mercs up front, but Seb kind of stuck right now behind Steve McLean in the Lambo.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. It looks like the Lambos are fairly strong here this evening too as well. The Fords, as usual, always fairly strong as we hop on board here with Felix Feliz. Feliz had a nice run last week at Indianapolis, trying to convert that into another race run here. Ross Sortino, a driver who had a ton of issues the week before at Barcelona and Catalunya, off track a number of times, had a little bit of an incident last week at Indianapolis too as well, but qualified well here today, Rich, up 4 spots where he qualified too as well. Just outside the top 5 ahead of Felix Feliz is Ross Sortino.
Yeah, nice to see Ross having some good results. I mean, I recall his very first week in Throttle Freaks as an amateur, he won the overall race. So just having a few issues the last several weeks. Ross needs a little bit of more consistency in his race, because he definitely has pace, and he's showing that tonight.
Yeah, looking strong so far. He generally has the pace. It's just a matter of keeping himself out of trouble. And speaking of trouble, we've had a number of drivers dropping tires off track. Looks like Jim Feliz might have had another issue here, Rich. Not to rub salt in the Feliz wound here. Let's take a look at Jim trying to recover off that first corner spin on lap 1, pushing hard into the final corner. He's going to lose the back end of that Mustang again. So I'm not sure if he got a little bit of damage somewhere around there, Rich, but looks like that Mustang is not happy this evening with Jim Feliz.
Yeah, that's rather unfortunate. And that's certainly going to tighten up the points race at the end of this night if I can't see Jim being able to recover from that, unfortunately. We're going to go back on board here with Tyler Graff. Tyler Graff battling now with Matthew Fortin. Tyler Graff is trying to follow along behind Matthew Fortin. Jerome Berthiaume has gotten by him, so Jerome's moving upwards and onwards. Jerome up 4 places into 8th. Tyler Graff up 3 places into 10th. In the middle between them, Matthew Fortin.
Yeah, nice race for Forte right now. He's actually one of only 3 drivers, Rich, still in the position they qualified in, just from all the movement we had from issues up and down the field. So surprising to see only 3 drivers still where they qualified, with the rest of the field making either multiple gains or multiple losses right now. So nice run by Forte. He's also sporting the Racer Nexus logos on his car, which we always approve and love to see out there. So thank you to him for that.
Yeah, that definitely gets you a little more screen time. We can be bribed. Logos, beverages, cash, doesn't really matter, but thanks a lot, Matthew. We really appreciate it, and we like the support. Just want to take a look on the inset screen. We were following along the battle for second and third between Herbert Pineda, Brett Thurman. We also have Travis Newsom in that mix. On the main screen, we're following along with Matthew Fortin. Matthew and now we're going on to Justin Welsh. So we've got good battles up and down the track, whether you're in second and third or whether you're in 28th or 27th. It's battles up and down, just like there always is in Throttle Freaks.
Yeah, I did you a little dirty on that one, Rich. I was trying to change the the drivers in focus while you were talking about the picture-in-picture, and I didn't quite get there quick enough. But so we'll put that one on me. I didn't hang Rich
all good.
out high and try on that one.
You can always make me look like a fool. You're the boss, Rob.
As we head on board here with Sully Sod, he's got Stephen McLean and Seb Goche up ahead. And see Goche going well off track in that Mercedes, running out wide. So it's like Seb battling a little bit of handling here right now. It's 3 corners in a row we've seen him go out wide. So we'll see if he's able to collect it up. His fellow teammate Brett Thurman, though, in the inlay, strongly up into 3rd place, falling back a little bit from Herbert Pineda, as both those cars starting to fall back a little bit from Jack Hedgecock, who's opened up. I guess it looks like almost about a second now over 2nd place Herbert Pineda.
Yeah, I'm not overly surprised in that. I mean, it's great to see Herbert and Brett battling up at the front, but Jack has shown tremendous pace the last 2 seasons. So we take a look at Greg Doucette a little further back in the field, Sully Sad. A couple of drivers battling hard here. We got Sully in 20th, Greg Doucette in 21st, Stephen McLean just ahead of them in 19th. It's just, these cars are all close. It's just a matter of getting the good corner exits so you can take your opportunity. And speaking of corner exits, this is the place where you want to make it. It's turn 6, that hairpin. It's really a matter of getting your braking point right and choosing your line, whether you're going to go over, under, inside, or outside. So pick it up with Joshua Spears in the BMW.
Yeah, Spears just made that move in the corner you were talking about on Dave Jensen. He's been falling behind Jensen for a while, finally able to make that pass stick. Now William Fenson going to try and take advantage of Jensen too as well. Jensen, a nice run, still up 5 spots where he qualified. William Fenson, I was praising his qualifying early on, Rich. Not sure where he got knocked down the grid, but he's down 9 spots right now in 16th place. I'll see if I can find out what happened to him. Might have been that big log jam on turn 1 in corner 6, but yeah, now he's got some work to do for the Aussie driver.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where he kind of got caught up in a little bit of the calamity that was going on, but William Fenson battling back hard. I think he's made up a few of those positions already, so I'd expect him to make up a few more based on the pace he's shown all night tonight.
Yeah, we know he's at the strong qualifying pace, that 1-lap pace, so we need to translate into about a dozen or so qualifying laps here now, Rich, as we're quickly getting up to the 15-minute mark in this race. A lot of action, still a lot of cars within half a second of each other, even the drivers not being flagged by orange on timing tower. A lot of them only 5/6 tenths separated, so still a lot of positions can be made or lost by one simple mistake.
Yeah, a simple mistake or just an exceptional drive. You get in the draft. Whoa, as we look at Matthew Fortin, they're getting real close there, folks. Wow, good driving. It looks like Tyler Graff going up the inside of Matthew Fortin. Matthew Fortin's going to have the inside for this corner, though. But I wouldn't say but nonetheless, Tyler Graff gets the move done. Good job by Tyler. Up into 9th place now.
Yeah, worked Forte from one side to the other, placed his car perfectly through turn number 10, take that position away. So we'll see if Graf able to pull away. I mentioned it last week where the Porsche and the Aston got a little bit of a BOP adjustment the week before, where the Porsche has been down a little bit on straight line speed. In the last couple of weeks there, it looks like it's kind of come alive here for Tyler Graf. Driver we've seen up towards the sharp end of all 3 seasons beforehand, Rich. So not all that surprising to see him up in the top 10 in 9th place now. We'll see if he can continue to work his way forward.
Yeah, Tyler's didn't have the best qualifying effort for himself, but definitely putting on a good performance. We're going to go back on board here with James Hand in the Hippo Mines Mustang. James Hand, I'm not sure which it is. James Hand in 29th, battling along. He's trying to close in on Justin Welsh in the Acura. James Hand getting up real close as we're coming down here, taking a lot of curve. We see Justin Welsh, but James Hand following in behind. Is he going to make a move to the inside? He's faking it, but no, he's pulling back in.
Yeah, the Mustang, that's one thing about the Mustang, Rich, is you can just hammer the curbs. It'll eat up curbs all day long as there's not a crowd nearby for it to go into. Unfortunately for Jim Feliz, it's not quite as curb hungry on cold tires, though. But once you get those tires warmed up, you can just hammer the curbs in the Mustang, as you saw James Hand do. And so he's going to make the move around Justin Welsh into turn 6. Welsh backed out early on just to give out that position. Not going to battle too hard. You can tuck in behind Hand and see if the two of them can work together to catch Nicholas Carangis, who's about 3 seconds up the track from them.
Yeah, that's the only way they're going to make that move is to work together, as we pick it up with Steve McLean. Steve McLean still having that battle with Sully Saad and Greg Doucette in behind. Look at these 3 cars. I just love this section here. You can see them using a lot of curb on almost every corner here at Hockenheim. Hockenheim, such a fabulous track. It's been around and on the service for quite some time. I think we both love it. I think a lot of the drivers here like it a lot as well. Watch drivers coming around onto the pit straight, going across the start-finish line.
Yeah, Hockenheim too as well. Most of the corners, for the most part, Rich, you can run them a little wide and not get a off-track. Turn 1, where they just went through there, is a little more on the stringent side, where you can't really run out as wide. There is a nasty slowdown out there, but a lot of these other corners, you can get up on the curbs, get into the green. It's not AstroTurf, it's actually painted cement. They have green out there to kind of simulate grass or AstroTurf and not get an off track. So it allows for a lot of battling, and I think that's probably one of the other reasons I like the track so much. Is, as I mentioned, you got 4 great overtaking opportunities. As you see Sully Saad fake and bake the move. He's going to pull out again on Stephen McLean, try and force a mistake, but not enough of a run there for Saad to make that move. Greg Doucette right now just kind of sitting in the catbird seat here, Rich, watching what's going on up ahead.
So one of my favorite positions to be in. You want to be right up there. If you're not able to make that move, be there in case something happens ahead of you. Greg Doucette up 7 positions on the day. I believe he's our biggest mover and shaker thus far.
Let's see, 7. I believe you are correct, Rich. So nice moves by Greg Doucette right now. See if he's able to translate that in as the race goes on. Just behind them, we got a battle between Jacob Fichtner, actually David Morris leaving this trio. Morris, Fichtner, and Tyler Cato. Cato down 11 spots. He was involved in that spin early on. He's trying to put some pressure on Jacob Fichtner right now. That's a battle for 24th and 25th. So no matter where you are in the field, Rich, looks like you have a number of cars to battle.
Yeah, that's for sure. But up near the front, as we see on the picture-in-picture screen, Jack Hedgeco's got himself just over a second lead, and Herbert Pineda's got himself almost a second lead over Brett Thurman, who's got about a second and a half over Travis Newsom. So drivers starting to separate a little bit out at the top, but Jack Hedgeco's is not running away with this right now. As we go back to the main screen, we watch Felix Feliz, and I believe that's Ross Sortino. Oh, gee, no, wow.
I just got done saying about 10 minutes earlier, Rich, where Sortino usually has the pace. Just has to try and find his way around the track with getting involved in an incident. So I'm not sure if that was on him, though. Let's see if we can see what happened between Feliz and Sortino as they head into turn 6. Feliz on the outside, Sortino on the inside. Not quite clear of Feliz. So he tried to run him out wide. Feliz was there. Not really much Feliz could do. If he went any farther, he would have got off track there. So I'm just gonna say that's probably more a racing incident than anything else. But again, same story, same story, new week here, Rich, with Ross Sortino. Just needs to find that little bit of racecraft, know when to push it and when to hold back a little bit, as now Jerome Berthiaume trying to capitalize on Felix Feliz in that wounded car.
Yeah, that's Judge Richard here says no harm, no foul on Felix Feliz. That was just, he was already there, and unfortunately no room. But Jerome Berthiaume chomping at the bit now in that Mustang. Hey, catch that little wordplay I did there, Rob. We've got Jerome Berthiaume moving hard and fast here. He's up 5 positions. Felix Feliz up 5 positions. These two drivers battling quite hard, Mustang against Mustang.
Let's start calling you Richard Pundell with your word plays here. As you see, Berthiaume doesn't make the move on Felix Feliz in there, but he is right on the back bumper. Berthiaume up 5 spots, Feliz up 5 spots, Tyler Graff in behind them up 5 spots too as well. So a number of our drivers up in the top 10 making nice gains. All of our top 3 up 1 position. That's the position they got from Jim Feliz. Tyler Newsom up 4 spots too as well. So a lot of drivers doing well. Looks like something might have happened to Tyler Cato. So another driver having maybe a race he wished to start out a little differently here, as he's in behind Victor and Morse. That's that trio we saw earlier. Oh, way late on the brakes for Cato. It's up into the side of Victor. Victor gonna go off wide, but Cato does the right thing, pulls off, gentleman driver. Lets Victor get back underway. That's what we love to see when you realize you make a mistake, Rich.
Yeah, give that position back, and boy, did he definitely send it. I'm wondering if he maybe just was a little late on his brake marker and kind of missed it by a little bit. As we look at Greg Doucette is battling himself with Sully Sad still. Greg himself is driving in the Ferrari against the Porsche. Coming around the final corners, they're going down to the start-finish line straightaway. Right now, we got Greg Doucette is just content to tuck in behind. Didn't get enough run there. Going through the turn 1, is using a bunch of curb. Looks like Greg Doucette got that corner a little bit better than Sully. We're going to keep going here. We've got following this battle. We've got Greg Doucette. Greg Doucette having himself a great battle with Sully Sad. So far, no harm, no foul. Nobody being able to make any advances. But right now, let's continue to watch these two drivers.
Yeah, you mentioned Doucette was our biggest mover last time we checked in on them, Rich. He's now added 3 more spots to make that plus 10 on the day. So how far can Doucette go right now? This race looking sharp for him, as we're just about at the halfway mark. Right about, I'm going to say right about now, Rich. So first half done, second half of this race coming ahead. If it's anything like the start of this one, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, this is Hockenheim is delivering, as are the drivers here. We're going to go back here with Jack Hedgecogs. Jack Hedgecogs got himself a nice 2.5 second gap now over Herbert Pineda. Brett Thurman is almost a second behind him. Travis Newsom at 1.2 seconds behind Andrew Trickett, about 7/10. So a little bit of a gap happening. Been pretty consistent, but Jack Hedgecogs has pulled about a second and a half in the last 3 or 4 laps now.
Yeah, I think he just has it on cruise control right now, Rich. Having a look, Hedgecogs with the quickest lap of the race, but only about 2/10 over Pineda and Thurman. So Pineda and Thurman with some strong pace here. Hedgecogs can't get too settled in his comfort zone here, Rich. A couple bobbles and Pineda and Thurman be right there trying to pluck away top spot.
Yeah, well, that's the goal is to be finishing on the top of the podium, but second or third isn't so bad either. Travis Newsom having himself a great race here, up 4 positions. But we've come to expect some great pace out of Travis. Let's take a look here. What happened here with Jerome Berthiaume? Jerome Berthiaume having him and the back end coming around on that Mustang.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Berthiaume. Had a nice race going. That's going to drop him all the way down to 18th place as he makes the 3-point turn off in the grass to make sure he had a kind rejoin here for the rest of the drivers. He's going to pull in, take advantage of his fuel stop here, Rich. So it's like Berthiaume and Chip Michaels our first couple drivers into pit road. So pit window is starting to open here, Rich. I suspect we'll see a few more drivers in short order.
Yeah, if I was Jerome, I'd be pulling into the pits now too. Let the tires cool down, let my emotions cool down. Let's see if we can salvage something out of this race. Sean Provo sitting in 8th place now. Sean having himself a good race thus far. He's up 9 positions at this stage, Rob. Having himself a very good day.
Yeah, nice day for Provo. We're seeing more and more drivers coming into the pits. Thurman, Forte, Sierra, Morris. Chip Michael's still in there, so I'm not sure if he's getting some damage repairs. Suboptimal pit stop for Chip Michaels, another driver who's taking advantage of other drivers' mishaps here. David Bush III up 11 spots now into 10th. Dave Jensen just up ahead of him, and Seb Goche in tow. Big moves for all 3 of those drivers. But the man of the day so far, Rich, Hedgecox.
Yeah, he's having himself a fabulous effort. No mistakes, just driving clean, consistent laps. And that's all you really need to do if you get off to a 1 second early lead. Just keep that pace up, and nobody's going to pass you if you don't make any mistakes.
Yeah, it's hard to get around a driver that's not making any mistakes and has pace up ahead. But a couple Astons on track here. McKenzie and Forte battling it out. Matthew Forte has come in to complete his stall. I believe he is our second highest ranked driver right now behind Brett Thurman that's come in for their service. So we'll see how many positions he's able to make up once the rest of the field comes in for their service. McKenzie, we saw, unfortunately for him, fell down the field in the grid early on. He's trying to recover. They got James Hand just up ahead of him. I believe it is Hypo Mines, if I'm understanding correctly here, Rich.
Well, then you win because, yeah, I was thinking Hypno, but it's not an NO, it's Hypo, so you're most likely right. I'm never known for my conversational English abilities, so that's why they got me as a commentator, folks.
Comic relief is Richard Swindell's specialty. As we hop back up here, Trickett and Newsom, they're heading down the Parabolica straight. Looks like a Pineda starting to open up a bit of a gap now as he's lost Brett Thurman in tow. Thurman, one of the early drivers, come in for the pit. So he found himself a little bit of clean air. Let's see where Brett Thurman is on track here. He's a little bit behind Kevin Berquist, but he's got some clean air. We'll see if Thurman able to put in some hot laps here, Rich, after his pit stop. Maybe potentially the undercut might work here at Hockenheim. It hasn't really seemed to work out all that well this season, where the overcut running to the end of your fuel load seems to have been the better strategy.
Yeah, usually you would think the lighter car, the longer the car is lighter, the better. The only exception really to that rule I find is if you're caught in traffic and you can't make passes. But I don't think that was what was going on with Brett. Maybe he just wanted to take an alternate strategy and see where he lay. But David Bush III doing what David Bush III does, and not necessarily qualifying near the front, but increasing his pace as the race goes on. Man, if David just started these races 25 minutes in, he would be unstoppable. And having himself a great race once again. He's had a pretty successful season this season, and doing well once again as we see Jack Hedgecox, our leader, into pit road.
Yeah, it looks like the remainder of the field starting to come in here. Although I mentioned that in the driver we always see really pushing the limit is the guy you were just talking about, Rich. David Bush III, again, able to save that 1 lap extra fuel compared to a number of other drivers. So we'll see how that works out for him as our leader. Jack Hedgecox coming back out of the pits. He's going to come back out in second place. So once Bush III comes in for his cycle, that'll cycle Hedgecox back into top spot. But Travis Newsom, mega pit stop for him. He's gotten himself out ahead of Brett Thurman and Herbert Pineda too as well. I'm having a look. Herbert Pineda, extended stop for Pineda. He's still in his stall here, Rich. Wonder if he got maybe a speeding penalty heading on the pit road.
No, poor Herbert. He having himself such a great effort. His best effort in his Throttle Freaks career, as far as I can remember. Not what he wanted to see. He's been in his stall for, oh my goodness, he's almost a full minute, Rob. 55 seconds in the stall.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Herbert. Pineda had a great race going. I suspect it was either a unsafe entry or speeding, as the entry here at Hockenheim could be tricky. It's right off that last corner in the entrance. It doesn't give you a whole lot of run before you, oof.
Whoa.
Oh, we see no. Newsom and Thurman getting into it. Newsom going to spin around. Thurman able to keep going. It's a change of pace. We've seen Brett Thurman tied up in that almost same incident in a couple races this season, Rich, and he's been the one that's went around. So unfortunate for Travis Newsom. Thurman going to keep going. Newsom going to lose about 5 spots, falling back to 7th place, but able to recover quickly after that spin. Well done by Travis Newsom.
Yeah, very impressive recovery. As we see the Mustang getting way off into the sand in behind there, but no harm, no foul. Sean Provo doing a good job of saving that as he was doing a little bit of drifting off-road action. As we watch a replay of this little incident here between Travis Newsom and Brett Thurman. Brett Thurman coming up hard up the inside as Travis goes to turn in. Looks like Brett Thurman may have just caught the inside, maybe a little bit of net code, hard to tell from that angle, but it was certainly enough to spin Travis around. But Travis just losing 3 positions there, getting right back on track quickly.
Yeah, I think Thurman just caught the inside curb there, and it kind of threw him out to the right into Newsom right there. And that's all it took, unfortunately, for Travis Newsom, the unfortunate receiver of that contact there. But Thurman up into 2nd place. Andrew Trickett going to take advantage of that slower stop by Pineda and the contact between Thurman and Newsom, getting himself up into final step on the podium right now for Trickett. He's got Tyler Graff not too far back, but Graff having to deal with Felix Feliz and Travis Newsom, the driver we just saw involved in that incident.
Yeah, Felix Feliz has been showing a lot of pace of late, getting himself up on the podium last week. Certainly is showing a lot of pace again tonight, sitting in 5th place overall, all over the back of Tyler Graff, just 3 tenths behind in that Ford Mustang. Felix, I know Rob really likes his mugshot. I'm a more fan of Seb Gautier's, but Felix not afraid to get his point the nose in and make some moves. Felix up 6 positions, falling behind Tyler Graff, who's up 9 positions. These drivers battling hard for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, Feliz with a little bit of damage on the right front of that Mustang. We saw that was contact with Sortino, so it's probably hampering his turning a little bit on the front end, Rich. So well done to him right now, getting himself up into 5th place with that damage. But you see Travis Newsom really hunting in behind, trying to gain those spots back he lost. Matthew Forte, I think this is probably his best run so far in Throttle Freaks, what we've seen. He got himself up in the 7th place, but Sean Provo, one of our top end drivers in the points championship, well done by him too as well. 8 spots gained on the day, as he's just ahead of David Bush III, up 12 spots.
Yeah, Sean Provo looking to increase his lead in the amateur standings. 8th place, fabulous effort by Sean, showing why he's on top of the standings. David Bush III doing David Bush III things, up 12 positions, continuing that charge forward. So let's see if David Bush III's got enough left in the tank, so to speak. 13 minutes left. I'm predicting about 8 more laps. They're on lap 28. It looks like they're going to go about 28 laps here tonight, Rob.
I'm going to trust you on that, Rich, because I really have no other reason not to. But as we're on board here with Josh Spears, good race for him as well. He's currently sitting in 10th place, up 8 spots. But we should probably give a shout out here to William Fenson, driver who started up on the sharp end. Rich got involved in something on lap 1 that unfortunately I haven't been able to find here. I looked a number of times, but he's got himself back up into 11th place. Still down 4 spots where he qualified, but I think all in all, probably we can bring this one home. Probably a nice substitution for that early incident spin that he had, or contact somewhere.
Yeah, once something like that happens, that's all you can do is push forward. Your chances of victory are pretty much gone, but don't give up, because there's lots of positions to be had, as he has, and we're going to follow along here. Ian Cabana with Herbert Pineda. Herbert Pineda, a very unfortunate incident on pit road, all the way back in 20th position now, but he's having himself trying to have a little bit of a recovery here after that disappointment. He's just ahead of Ian Cabana at this stage.
Yeah, he's got Cabana in tow. See if Pineda able to pull away. Is just ahead of him. Colin McKenzie down 14 spots. So a couple drivers with not fond memories here of Hockenheim. As you see, the lap car of, I believe that's Fichtner. We saw him involved in an incident early on. He's going to pull over and let Cabana and Pineda through. So hats off to Jacob Fichtner, recognizing that race was coming up behind him and didn't want to get involved, as he's looks like he's missing the front bumper on that Mercedes.
Yeah, Throttle Freaks follows a very strict blue flag rule. Leaders are coming up. You're a lap down. You're obligated to move over at the first available opportunities. We got some really, really tight racing. Matthew Fortin having himself a great battle. Sean Provo in behind them. David Bush III. These 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars. Look at this. We've got, looks like William Fenson getting up into this mix too, along with Joshua Spears. My goodness. Oh, getting a little bit loose is Provo. Provo's managed to hold on to it. David Bush III tapped a little bit on the back. Not necessarily his fault. As Provo getting all out of sorts, and now around he goes. And out of balance and out of shape for a while with Sean Provo. Eventually, it all came to an end.
Oh, Felix Feliz looks like he went around 2 as well on the front stretch. Rich, almost simultaneous as Sean Provo. A couple Mustangs going awry here in the last couple corners, but I don't know how all 5 of those cars didn't get taken out on the corner before when they went through mobile curve. 3 wide through there, Rich. A little argy-bargy. Provo saved it, but was unable to save it a little further on. But hats off to those drivers getting through there clean for the most part.
Yeah, that's... I couldn't believe only 1 car went around in that. It looked like there was a lot of issues going on, a little bit of spinning there for Sean Provo. Had it a little bit loose and eventually just couldn't hold on to it anymore, but everybody else got through relatively cleanly. Nice to see. Matthew Fortin, though, now battling with Joshua Spears, William Fenson, Dave Bush III in behind them. Oh man, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like 7 cars in this train, Rob.
Yeah, you know, it actually goes all the way back to Seb Gauthier at the tail end of this field. So look at that. We got our 2 best mug shots in the league, nose to tail here, Rich. But as you mentioned, Matthew Forte leading this train. We saw him and Provo really battling it out last lap through this section. It's like Forte actually opened up a little bit of a gap. Spears going to drop a couple tires into the grass. Fenson still recovering, down now only 1 spot from where he qualified. So he's almost completed the comeback here, Rich. He'd probably love to get around Josh Spears with 8 minutes to go, get himself back to qualified. I think that'd be a win-win for William Fenson at the end of the day. But as they kind of argy-bargy here in behind, Matthew Forte starting to pull away from that battle. David Bush III in the Lambo. Looks like the Lambo's starting to fade a little bit in the back half of this battle.
I'm wondering if it's a Lambo that's fading, Rob, or Dave Bush III did get the nose into Sean Provo when he got a little loose. So I'm wondering if that Lambo is suffering a little bit of aero damage now, causing Dave Bush III to have a little issues trying to hold on.
Well, let's have a look here and see. So we got Provo.
It wasn't
on the
here,
inside.
Rob. Oh, they did touch there, but it was the corner before when Sean was a little bit loose that I think Dave Bush III got into the back of him. Not necessarily David's fault. Sean had the back end kind of getting real loose. Yeah, there we go. That's the spot I was talking about there. Just a little touch on the front right-hand corner. And then we came up and saw at the end of it that you showed here as he got a little loose, and then David Bush III just sneaking by.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for Sean Provo. As I said, I thought he was going to save it, but at the same time that was going on, just around the other side of the corner here, Rich, the stadium section, Felix Feliz dropped a couple tires into the grass. The Mustang wasn't happy about that.
Ooh.
Going to lose it, and a little kiss on the wall there for him. But we go back live with David Bush III getting a ton of pressure from Javi Sierra right now. That Mercedes being wheeled by Javi Sierra, trying to find a way around Bush. Oh, might have been a little tap on the rear bumper there by Sierra, as we see Feliz and Gauthier lurking in the background. Sierra giving the old razzle-dazzle to David Bush now, trying to force that mistake. 7 minutes to go. That's probably going to be about 3, maybe 4 more laps here, Rich, by your calculations, or are we down to about 3 laps to go?
Yeah, we're just on lap 23, predicted to be 28 laps, so I think we've got about 5 laps almost. So looks like they're going to cross the line with just a little bit of time left on the board. So man, oh man, these guys are having a great race. As Colin McKenzie is trying his recovery run here, he's battling along with Nicholas Carangis ahead. Herbert Pineda also trying to recover in behind. A couple of drivers here not having the results they were hoping for, but trying to make the best of it at this stage.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you can do, Rich. Hope for others to have maybe a similar race to you as the race goes on. Try and pick off any spot you can, because you never know what's going to be in store for you for the final 4 races of the season. As bad as this one may seem, the next one may be even worse. But let's go back to this battle up at the mid tail end of the top 10. Spears now up leading this pack. He's gotten around Forte, but the battle's still behind. David Bush III being able to relieve some of that pressure from Javi Sierra. as Sierra now feeling a little bit of pressure from Feliz and Goche in behind.
Yeah, it's looks like David Bush III has managed to get that Lambo back under control. He's not falling any further behind. He's gapping a little bit to Javi Sierra. So, but in behind them, man, oh man, we got Felix Feliz. He's really pushing hard. He's got Seb Goche though, all up in behind him. So, you know, we're what 40 minutes into this race, and we've still got cars battling nose to tail up and down the lineup here. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, 11th even, all going down the same straightaway.
Yeah, it looks like they might actually be starting to reel in that's Tyler Cato up ahead. Confused me for a second. I was going to say I thought they were pulling in 5th place Travis Newsom, but he's 8 seconds up the road. That's his sister car of Tyler Cato, who probably has a race that he probably is interested in coming back to Hockenheim anytime soon.
Or he does because he wants to get his revenge, but rather unfortunate is Brett Thurman. We haven't seen him up at the pointy end for a little bit here. Brett Thurman, 2nd place overall right now, but hey, look who's there in 3rd, Rob. That's Andrew Trickett sitting at 3rd overall right now. Great race by Andrew Trickett. That's, I believe, by far his best overall positioning if he can maintain this for the next 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, I believe you're right. He's got his Pro-Am brethren, though, of Brett Thurman up ahead of him and Tyler Graff in behind. So 3 of our top 4 drivers right now are our Pro-Am drivers, but the guy who's been out front since the green flags waved, 5.5 seconds now up on that 2nd place battle. Jack Hedgecoke's got himself out front after that mistake by Jim Flees. Hasn't really looked back at all here, Rich. We haven't talked about it much because there hasn't been much going on in his race. Very comfortable race up front. That's going to bode well for his chasing down Jim Feliz in the Pro Championship. It'll be interesting to see how the points fold out heading into the final 4 races. We might have a battle yet on the Pro side going down to the line.
Yeah, I'd pull in my abacus, but with all these computer screens in front of me, Rob, I can't do the calculations live. I'm just not that good anymore. I'm getting too old and too slow. As Matthew Fortin coming around the corner, falling along behind Joshua Spears. We've got David Bush 3rd in behind him, Javi Sierra, Felix Feliz, Seb Goche, Greg. Oh my goodness, everybody's up in this mix, Rob.
Yeah, this is one of those packs, Rich, where you can't really blink or you're going to lose a number of spots. So we got Josh Spears in 6th. This goes all the way back to 11th place, Seb Goche. So 6 cars in this pack as we see Javi Sierra fake and baking the move on David Bush III, just trying to give him the sense that he might try and dive underneath, but looks like Sierra was actually getting into that corner a little better than Bush. Looks like Bush had to kind of back out of it a little bit, wait for that Lambo to turn. Looks like he kind of stalled mid-corner before he could really get back into the throttle, but the exit pace looks like it was there for the Lambo, able to open that gap back over Sierra. We'll see if he's able to hold him off, but Josh Spears now up front, been able to hold off the charge from Matthew Forte, trying to regain that spot that Spears took away about 3 laps ago. So see here with, they're going to have, looks like maybe 1 to go, 2 to go when they cross the line here, Rich. I guess it depends with Jack Hedgecoke. He's going across the line, so we'll have 2 more laps to go in this race.
Yeah, the race is quickly winding down, folks. 45 minutes may seem like a long time, but it certainly isn't tonight. This race is just zipping right by. Kevin Bergquist sitting in 16th place right now. Kevin Bergquist up 9 positions on the day, having himself a very good result thus far. Kevin Bergquist following along behind Sean Provo, who had his earlier incident. Let's see what Kevin's got. I think Sean just made that move and got by him about a lap or 2 ago, but Kevin Bergquist trying to hang on for that position.
Yeah, a couple drivers with AM championship aspirations here. So yeah, it looks like Bergquist got a little rough over the curbs there, had to gather the car back up. That's all Provo needed. He didn't need a second invitation to make that move. He's going to get back ahead of Kevin Bergquist, regain one of the spots he lost early on. So unfortunately the clock, the arch nemesis here now for Sean Provo.
Yeah, the clock will always do you in. Colin McKenzie sitting here in 22nd place, falling behind Josh Goen, somebody we haven't talked about much at all tonight. Josh Goen in 21st place, down 4 positions on the day. These 2 drivers, though, with just over a lap to go, battling, looking for every position and every point possible.
Yeah, not the typical race we're used to seeing out of Goen this season. So we'll see. He's just kind of looking to make the best of a bad situation here, just outside the top 20. But he's going to have to fend off Mackenzie, as Mackenzie looks like he is going to want to try and take one of those positions back that he's lost. But let's go back to our biggest mover and shaker. We've talked about it a couple times so far, Rich. Just outside the top 10 now for Greg Doucette. 16 positions gained on the day for him. Hats off to Greg Doucette, managing to stay out of trouble and making a number of passes.
Yeah, it's great to see Greg doing so well. Long-time racer we raced with many years ago. Brett Thurman now in second place. Brett Thurman's got himself about 0.8 of a second over Andrew Trickett in third. Meanwhile, Jack Hedgecock's our leader. He's coming up to turn 6. He's coming up to the hairpin. This lead is comfortably in hand. He just has to ease it around the rest of this course, and checker flag and victory is his. But we're going to go back with Joshua Spears. Joshua Spears holding off Matthew Fortin with a half-second gap to him. Then David Bush the third. Javi Sierra in behind them. All this gaggle of cars, and Seb Gauthier points the nose out, tucks it back in. Just kind of give a little fake and bake there. And that fake and bake may work. Seb Gauthier getting that move done, because it looks like Felix Feliz got himself a little wide on that corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It almost looks like he pulled out and let Gauthier by. I wonder if Feliz got a slowdown somewhere, Rich, and had to serve the final couple seconds of it. But that gap in second place getting a little tighter up front. Now only 0.6 between Thurman and Trickett, as they've got one lap to go here. Coming around the final section of the stadium, they're going to come across and get the checker flag this time, or sorry, checker for the white flag this time by. So we'll see if Thurman able to hold off.
Checker flag.
Checker flag.
Yeah, checker flag, Rob. Jack Hedgecoach just took victory here. Brett Thurman gets second, Andrew Trickett third. We've got Tyler Graff fourth, Travis Newsom in fifth.
I wonder if that was a glitch, Rich, because when Hedgecock's crossed the line, there was still 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the race for that last lap. So I wonder if we got shorted there by iRacing, or maybe there was a glitch in timing and scoring here. But by my calculations, they should have still had one more lap there. As you see the race, the line between Bush the third and Sierra. Bush able to hold off Sierra at the line. We'll pop back to Josh Goen and Colin McKenzie as they head into the stadium section. It's our other closest battle heading to the line here. We'll see if Goen able to hold off McKenzie. That's for 21st place. One more corner to go for Josh Goen in his Ferrari. And off they go. Looks like McKenzie going to have to settle for 22nd place. Justin Welsh not too far back. I believe Welsh is going to be our final driver on the lead lap. And then once he crosses, that should make everything official here, Rich.
Yeah, it was an exciting race, Rob. Hockenheim didn't disappoint tonight. That little bit of turn 6 shenanigans and I guess basically a roadblock going on lap 1. But for the most part, relatively clean race. A couple little incidents, but overall, some great nose-to-tail racing, some great passes, some great recovery runs, and nice to see some drivers up near the front who haven't been there for a while. Brett Thurman having himself a great result. We haven't seen him up at the pointy end for a little bit. We saw some great racing from people like Herbert Pineda, who had an unfortunate incident. But nice to see some people getting some pace tonight that haven't had pace necessarily over the last several weeks.
Absolutely. Couldn't say it any better myself, Rich, but Jack Hedgecock's going to take the win over Brett Thurman, Andrew Trickett, and Tyler Graff. Travis Newsom rounds out the top 5. Joshua Spears comes home top spot in that battle of about 6 cars we focused on for the last 10 minutes or so. It was the tightest battle on track. He's going to come ahead of Forte, Bush III, Sierra, Gauthier, and Feliz. Greg Doucette, our biggest mover and shaker, up into 12th place. Dave Jensen in 13th. Nice run for him. Stephen McLean, Sean Provo round out our top 15. That was a nice recovery by Sean Provo. Not the finish he probably was hoping for, but all in all, a nice recovery. Kevin Berquist in 16th. Herbert Pineda, rough race for him. Nicholas Caranges in 18th. Ian Cabana in 19th. Rounding out our top 20 drivers is going to be James Hand.
And 21st, we had Josh Goen, followed by Colin McKenzie in their close battle. Then we had Justin Welsh, the last driver on the lead lap. Then we have Jacob Figner in 24th, Tyler Cato 25th, 2 laps down. William Fenson, don't know what happened to him. 5 laps down in 26. Christopher Rhines, Sully Sad, David Morse, Ross Sortino, Jerome Berthum, Chip Michaels, all not having the race they wanted. Jim Feliz, especially 33rd. And then we had 3 drivers who didn't even manage to get on the starting grid.
Yeah, I think I just found here quickly what might have happened to William Fenson, as you mentioned it, Rich. Let's take a quick look here before we get to the driver interviews. But so he was battling in that pack behind Matthew Forte, just lost the back end into the wall, heavy damage on the right front of that car. So unfortunate race for William Fenson. He was having a nice recovery, and everything went to naught there.
Yeah, he was having that great pace at the beginning, great recovery after that, and well, next week we've got next week, Rob. So there's always next week.
That's what I tell my kids with virtually everything, Rich. But we got a number of drivers here in chat waiting to talk. Let's bring in our race winner, Jack Hedgecokes, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, congratulations, Jack! Great race.
Thank you. I'll take it.
You'll take it. Well, yeah. After that little incident with Jim Feliz, you kind of just looked like set your own pace and just kind of drove clean and consistent. Was that your game plan?
Yeah, I didn't have any practice before I showed up tonight, so I was pretty
Don't
much.
say that.
I mean, you said it. I mean, I had to definitely play it safe. I mean, I'm lucky how it ended up with. Unfortunate for him spinning, but for me, it was great. But no, I definitely had to just keep it under control and not really push too much, so I didn't really build a huge gap or anything, still trying to get laps, but overall good. Wish I got the safe driving, but I got a Ghost 2X for that spin with Jim. I'm just lucky I didn't get collected in that, honestly. So good week though overall.
Definitely a good week. That'll certainly tighten up at the points championship. Next week we're going off to Sebring. Definitely a little bumpier than Hockenheim. How do you expect to do at Sebring? Are you going to do any practice, or have you done practice there before, perhaps?
Well, luckily for me, I've done numerous Sebring 12 hours throughout the years, so I think I've had plenty more laps than I've had around here. So as long as I get something in during the week, I should be fine. It'll be at least a lot more than this week, so I'm sure everybody next week will be doing good. So I gotta put in the laps as well.
Oh man, you're making me mental. I mean I know Hockenheim, but you still would have dusted me by half a lap or more, even with no practice. So congratulations. Any shout outs tonight, Jack?
Shout out to, I don't know if Nick was watching. I knew you couldn't make it tonight, so if he was watching, hopefully he did pretty well, and hopefully he'll be back next week. And then I think my dad's watching too, like always. So shout out to my dad. And then hopefully next week the team overall can get some better finishing positions. They were unlucky tonight, so hopefully next week we can bounce back as a team.
It sounds good, Jack. Well, we'll see you next week. Congratulations once again.
Thanks, guys.
Was our overall winner Jack Hedgecokes. Let's catch up with our third place finisher in the Pro, Josh Spears. Josh, congrats on the podium finish in Pro. It looks like you had a heck of a battle there at the end with the 6 cars. Yourself, Forte, Sierra, Bush III, Gauthier, and a number of other drivers all wrapped up in that tight pack.
Yeah, that was intense. It was just, as long as I keep the least amount of mistakes, I think I can hold this.
Next week we head to Sebring, a vastly different track than Hockenheim Hero. From the smooth surfaces of Hockenheim, the wide open spaces, to the tight confines. Sebring, more or less a road or a street type circuit, but a whole lot of bumps. How are you feeling taking the BMW there?
That's going to be a good question. I honestly don't know how the BMW is going to ride there. There's only, 2 people in the series that are riding it, so I'm just going to hope for the best and hopefully use more the second account.
So we know everybody has a ton of experience on Sebring. Have you participated a lot in the 12-hour races, or is it I know there's a small group of iRacers that seem to really despise Sebring. How are you? At which end of the scale you're on there?
My first ever win in iRacing was on Sebring, so I guess I do kind of love the track. Yeah, just love the track.
Excellent stuff. Well, give us a couple shout outs here, Josh, before we let you go.
I'd like to shout out SCR, all their sponsors, and just anybody who's watching this. Thank you guys for doing a great broadcasting.
Excellent stuff. Well, best of luck to you next week at Sebring. Hopefully the BMW and the Sebring work well with you, Josh, and we see you back at the sharp end of the field.
All right, later, guys.
Take care. So that was a third place, Joshua Spears. Let's bring in our top Pro-Am driver, also finishing second overall, Brett Thurman, to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Well,
Hey,
nice
congratulations. Congratulations, Brett. It's been a while.
Too long.
You had yourself a, it's nice to see you have yourself a good race start to finish here. Second place overall. I guess you must be very, very happy.
Extremely happy with Jim's misfortune. I'm glad for us that I was able to convert. Only bummer was having a little contact there with Travis, but hopefully he'll forgive me.
Yeah, we did see that a little bit. We'll reserve judgment on that. That was some tough racing there at Hockenheim, a track that the Mercs obviously seemed to do quite well at, with Andrew Trickett right in behind you and two more in the top 10. So next week, though, we're going to Sebring. How's Sebring going to work with the Merc and you? Are you comfortable there? Is that something you're looking forward to?
Bad Santa's friends with Sebring, so hopefully I'm friends with the Merc at Sebring. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we're super happy to have you back here, Brett. Congratulations on second place. We love seeing the Bad Santa car. Any shout outs tonight?
Just one to my lovely wife. She had some foot surgery and has been struggling, and she's still put up with me doing this. So love her and lucky to have her.
Well, we wish the best to your wife, and we really we're both family guys ourselves here, so we appreciate that kind of shout out to the family members because they make it all possible. Look forward to seeing you next week, Brett.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Rob. See you guys.
That was our top Pro-Am driver. It sounds like Brett might be in the store to get some flowers or chocolates for his wife there, Rich. But let's bring in our second place driver in Pro-Am, Andrew Trickett. Andrew, congrats on P2, third overall too as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this might have been your best finish in Throttle Freaks to date.
Yeah, I think I had one other second place earlier on in the year. But yeah, I'll take it. I mean, it's a great result. I'm super happy, especially with all this competition in this league. It's insane.
Yeah, it looked like the Mercedes really bode well here at home in Germany today, as we had a number of Mercedes drivers up in the top 10. Having a look here, I think it was actually last count about 4 of you in the top 10, so strong showing by Mercedes. Were you comfortable at Hockenheim coming in, or was it just the Mercedes prowess and kind of got you up towards the front?
I was feeling pretty good. I had pretty good pace in it. I wasn't the fastest one out there. There were a lot of other faster guys, but I just tried to sort of keep it clean and stay in the mix there, and things unfolded the way they did. And yeah, I'll take the second place in class and third overall. It's fantastic.
It looked like the last couple laps there, you're really pushing to start to close the gap on Thurman. You think if you had another couple laps, you might have been able to make a move on him for second place?
I was finding him passing a little bit hard here. I mean, you have your opportunities there at the hairpins, but unless somebody makes a mistake, it's going to be difficult to get past them. And I was just hoping that Brett would maybe run out of fuel or something like that. So I was trying to stay close and push him and just to see if anything could come of it, you know?
Yeah, getting the car to use the fuel load in front of you, always a good strategy. You're also one of the drivers with the Razor Nexus logos on your car, so we appreciate that. We say thanks for sporting our logo on there. Any shout outs you want to toss out here, Andrew, to family, friends watching before we let you go?
A big thanks to you guys putting on a good show, and the organizers for putting in the work, and yeah, the great competition. My fellow racers out there keeping it clean, so it was a great race. I'm happy.
Excellent stuff. Best of luck next week at Sebring, Andrew. Hope we see you back up at the sharp end again.
Perfect. Thank you guys. Good night.
That was our second place Pro-Am driver, Andrew Trickett. Let's bring in Tyler Graff, our third place driver, fourth overall. Tyler Graff to catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, congratulations, Tyler.
Hey there, thanks.
A good race, good result. Fourth overall, 9 positions gained from the start. What are your thoughts on tonight's race?
I honestly, I just focused on what I was good at. The Porsche is with this last update, I can get the pace long run, but short run speed is so tricky. And like I literally get like 1 lap in qualifying, and if I miss the lap, I missed that window of the tire, and then you got to reset the bias and try to get it back. And there's just not enough time in 15 minutes. So it just puts me in a spot in the race where I'm just really working on what I'm good at, and making sure that I'm getting off the corner straight, and trying to use the Porsche in the faster spots where it can be, because I mean we're getting beat in a lot of places right now. So yeah, we're just working it.
You kept it out of trouble, and that's half the battle in tight racing like this. Next week, though, we're going to Sebring, a little bumpier track. The Porsche going to do well there?
I hope so. Sebring's place I usually struggle at, but I had a decent race there last time we were there. So I hope that we can do that. But I think I got to stick with the Porsche to finish out the season, and
For sure.
we I don't know. I think the only way to do that is just to stay with these guys right now. Is just to out practice them and just beat them on the consistency side, or at least try to.
Practice makes perfect, Tyler.
Absolutely.
You're the best in the business when it comes to promo. So let's hear your shoutouts tonight.
Yeah, thanks to the guys at Lunatic for letting me hang out. Thanks to my friends at Madworks. Thanks to you guys for putting the show on. And we got Corporation Pop is out now. Good album. Yeah. That's about all the energy I got.
You're all worn out from the tough confines of Hockenheim. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to speak to you again, and good luck with all the practice this week.
Get me the heck out of Germany.
That was our third place Pro-Am driver, fourth overall, Tyler Graff. Let's bring in our AM winner here, Dave Jensen. Dave, heck of a race there for you. You'll get yourself up into 13th overall in the end and take top spot in AM. How did it go from your seat?
Surprising. I wasn't expecting Sean to go off and just give it to me, but I think Ross went off early. I qualified P3 in him, and then Ross went off. Then Sean, and I just had to hold it. Stay consistent.
Yeah, Sortino and Felix Fleas got wrapped up in an incident, and Sean Provo was just in a battle and unfortunately lost it. But it all worked out well for you. The Mercedes looks strong here this evening. You were one of those Mercedes drivers too as well, with a number of them in the top 15 and I believe 4 of the top 10 Mercedes drivers. So how did it feel here at a Mercedes at Hockenheim, kind of the German car heading home to the German track?
First time driving on this track with this car. I had no prep all week. I got taken out the last few weeks, so I kind of didn't give it any time this week.
So is that going to be your strategy next week heading into Sebring then, since it worked well for you?
No, absolutely not.
Well,
no, I got to get some prep.
Next week is Sebring. I've asked a couple of drivers. It seems to be a track that majority of the iRacing fandom enjoys and likes Sebring, but there are some drivers that really despise it in the bumps. How are you feeling about Sebring itself?
That's my home track. About 35, 40 minutes away.
Oh, so you hate it then?
Oh, I hate it. No, no, I love it. It's my favorite track.
Excellent. Well, we hope to see big things from you next week then at Sebring. Also, we got to give you a shout out. You're also one of the drivers rocking the Racer Nexus logo on your car. We appreciate that. So any shout outs here tonight, Dave, friends and family watching at home?
Yeah, thank you to you guys. Thank you to my wife for letting me do this week in and week out.
Well, excellent stuff. Best of luck next week at Sebring, Dave. Now we're expecting big things. That you said was your home track and your favorite track, not to put any more added pressure on you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Too.
So that was Dave Jensen, our top Pro-Am driver. It looks like that is everybody we have in the booth. And it looks like David Bush III was waiting, but we've lost him. But before we go, just because it's the last race of October, which is also the breast cancer awareness, the lunatic drivers have been sporting the breast cancer awareness paint theme all season. So again, pretty much everybody's been touched by cancer at some point in time. So we thank them for promoting that all season. Well done to them. And we'll see you next week. Rich, same time, same place. A hell of a lot more bumpy track, but it should be a ton of fun at Sebring.
Yeah, I'll link to myself, same bat channel. We'll see you next week, folks.
Bye for now.